If you like real news and you're trying to have a laugh, tune in right now to Trey G's podcast. Yeah, Trey G's podcast. Tune in right now to Trey G's podcast. Yeah, welcome to the Trey G podcast, man. You are now tuned in with your boy Trey G. Today we're gonna be talking about Twitter, man, and basically how to get your Twitter popping, cracking, you know. Trying to get some exposure on your Twitter, man. I know a lot of people be having a lot of issues with it, so we're gonna do a real quick video on a couple of things that you can use as an artist, to actually help get more exposure on your Twitter, because I know some of y'all artists get kind of confused or frustrated rather with the fact that you can post a million times on Twitter and won't even get a like on there, won't get a retweet, a share, a comment, or nothing, you know what I mean? So I get the struggles. I used to go through it myself. But that being said, man, a couple of good strategies is this, okay? We just gonna jump right into it. First of all, you have to be highly active on Twitter, okay? It's not a platform where you can go and play around for a week here or a couple days there and jump off of it for a month and come back and have that same energy, that same flow. Because, it's like Twitter is like a platform where you gotta kind of babysit it, you know what I mean? So, you gotta constantly be on there every day, all day. Because of the fact that there's so many people on there, man, and the news feeds move so fast that people will honestly miss your posts before they'll just miss your post, man, if you're not that active on there. If you post every now and then, they're not even used to your profile picture, they're not used to your name, so they in most cases is not gonna be interactive with you at all. So a couple of ways to fix that. Okay, so say if you're a music artist, right? You on Twitter and you trying to get your music popping on Twitter, you know what I'm saying? You want people to start engaging in your posts and stuff. Best thing to do is this. First of all, you have to have good content. And when I mean good content, I'm not saying a specific type of a song or nothing like that. It can be probably a piece of shit song because it's a market for that. Okay, you just have to know how to tap into that market for your piece of shit song. So learn your demographics. But at the end of the day, man, it's about being active. You want to get followers on Twitter. In most cases, you will have to follow them first and then see if they'll follow you back. Some people will only follow you back if you have something that's interesting for them to view. They will not follow you back if they come to your page and they stream down your timeline and all you do is retweet other people. You know what I'm saying? But you don't really have no content of your own. They won't follow back unless they have less followers than you. Sometimes, and in most cases, when people have less followers than you, they tend to follow you back. But if they have more followers than you, and they probably not gonna follow you back at any time soon, especially if you don't have good content on your timeline. When they stream down your timeline, they don't see nice pictures, professional photos, they don't see music videos or musical content that they, some people click on that, and if they don't like that first song that they click on, they probably not going to indulge in too much of your other posts. So you always want to have your best work at the top of your screen, and which is why a lot of people pin a post on Twitter. If you got a post that probably got a nice amount of views or a couple of likes or whatever, you want to pin that post, because then that post will keep on circulating, like generating likes and retweets and viewers, you know what I mean? So you always want to put your the post that you got the most engagements with. You want to kind of keep that at the top until you start generating more and more posts, you know what I mean? And eventually you will start seeing the growth. The thing about Twitter is that you can't just go there and expect to post something don't think that everybody's just gonna jump on your bandwagon, because that's just not how it happens, okay? In most cases, you're gonna have to spend a lot of time on Twitter the same way you might spend a lot of time on Facebook or Instagram or whatever other platform that you spend the most time on and engage. You will have to spend a lot of time on Twitter, man, the same way. And you know, the thing about spending time on Twitter is that you can actually get away with not spending no time on Twitter, because it's different outlets. Like, for instance, you can connect your Facebook with your Twitter, so every single thing you post on Facebook will automatically go to Twitter, so it's automatically like you posting to Twitter already, you know what I'm saying, without even having to go to Twitter. That service right there is very imperative for artists to use, man. And I know that a lot of artists don't use Twitter like that when it comes to syncing with other social media sites, but that's just something that you have to do as an artist, man. It helps you out. It saves time when you have to jump back and forth platforms. And you know, it's the same thing even with Instagram. If you on Instagram the most, and you know you're not really on Twitter a lot, post on Instagram, but also connect your Instagram with your Twitter. So that way when you post to Instagram, of course the picture won't show up on Twitter, but the post will. So that may get people from Twitter to follow you on Instagram. You know what I mean? Go to your Instagram and see what you talking about. You might be popping a lot more on Instagram or a lot more on Facebook, and somebody will follow you to that social media network, and they might engage with you there, you know. So it's all about just not putting yourself in a box, man, and making sure that you're using every single tool that they giving you out here free already to actually help build your brand. Okay, another thing that I want to talk about is Twitter ads. You know, Twitter ads to me is effective because of the simple fact is, like, the old Twitter ads is different from how they do it now. The old Twitter ads, like when you bought a Twitter ad, you purchased one, they would normally show, like, you know, if you depending on if you was promoting music or if you was promoting just for brand awareness, you wanted people to come to your page and just view it and possibly follow you. These ads was popping up on the sidebar of Twitter. So, like, if you go to Twitter and it says, you know, I mean, from a computer, not a phone. If you go to Twitter from a computer, you will see on the sidebar it'll have, like, you know, the people who they suggest that you should follow, or, you know, something like that. Well, your ad will pop up normally on that sidebar, where most people don't even pay attention to that sidebar, especially if you're streaming Twitter from a cell phone. You won't even see that sidebar. So now what Twitter does is they put the ads actually as a post now. You know what I mean? So when you purchase an ad on Twitter, it'll keep streaming down your followers' timelines as a post versus as an advertisement on the side bar that nobody reads anyways. You know what I mean? So Twitter ads are effective now. It's good to engage in Twitter ads. You have to invest into your brand. So you know, you can't just think that you're gonna get on or get noticed from just having talent, because talent is the least thing that you need as an artist nowadays. Now you need some way to get exposure. You need a way to catch people's attention beyond the music, and in most cases that will come from your character. That will come from, you know, pretty much your character, because that's what people will see. It will be your character and how you present yourself on social media, how you look, you know, certain things that you are doing is what's gonna represent your character and draw people into even knowing who you is, to even want to listen to your music. So you not only do you have to be a talented artist, you actually have to have a great character. Okay, you have to have a character that is that's eye-catchy. You know, because it's so much competition out here. So many people doing the craziest stuff for likes and comments and popularity, man, that you have to keep up with that. You know what I mean? So you can't just be a talented artist no more like 10 years ago, 20 years ago. Now you have to actually be a talented artist and an entertainer. You have to be both, man, like, period. So, you know, and that has to resonate from Facebook to Twitter to Instagram and any other social media site that you own. It has to resonate the same way. Okay. Another thing about Twitter is having a professional looking profile. Your bio should never be empty. It should have what you are, like if you are an artist, if you're a producer or whatever, you know, a songwriter. It should have something in reference to that in your bio. It should also have maybe a email address that they can book you, or a contact, some type of contact information within your bio that can help people not only come to your Twitter but also engage with you elsewhere as well. So that's another big key right there with Twitter. The platforms that you can use that are very effective, I use them to this day, I've been using them for the last 7-8 years, is Hootsuite and Buffer. Hootsuite and Buffer is basically a platform where you can go and schedule posts. So that way you won't have to be on Twitter or Facebook all day, every day, trying to post and keep up with what's going on. You can actually schedule a post. So if you got a music link where that's on SoundCloud or Spotify, Apple Music, you write out your post in Hootsuite or Buffer. You write out your post, put your link on that post, and then you schedule it. And what you do is you want to keep scheduling your post. Like, schedule that same post maybe 3 times a day. Then you go get another music link and you schedule that post 3 times a day for at least up to 3 days. If you do 3 days at a time, it's not gonna take a lot of time out of your schedule. And you know what I'm saying, the post to make schedules up to 3 days in advance. You know what I mean? So then that way you always got content streaming down your timeline that's actually promoting your music. Plus, you already gonna be on the social media platforms making your statuses, or dropping a quote here or there, whatever else you're doing. So all of that is gonna intertwine with the schedule post that you have, which is very effective. Trust me, I've been doing it for years, man, and it's not spamming nobody. You're not doing none of that. You just constantly showing people that you promoting your content, man, and eventually they'll click on it. They might watch it stream down their timeline 3 or 4 times, but then they gonna click like, let me see what the hype is about on this nigga song, you know what I mean, or this chick song. So it's just about being real vigilant, man, when it comes to these social media platforms, because that's what's gonna get you in the door, man. That's what's gonna get you the exposure that you need with Twitter. So with that being said, it's a lot of other things that you can really kind of help to improve your Twitter presence, but I always encourage artists to research, because research is what helps. Just like you listening to this video, I encourage you to go watch other videos, and what you do is you take everybody's perspective. You take little points out of everybody's perspective and you apply it to what you need to do for yourself as an artist, and you try and see what works. You test a few things here or there. Like even with like Twitter and Facebook, they have these polls that you can create within your platform, right? You can create a poll and say, hey, do you like Cardi B or Nicki Minaj? Well, the thing that you want to do is you want to create a poll for yourself. If you know that you already have a fan base on Twitter, it might be your biggest platform, or on Facebook might be your biggest platform. You have these select people who are always liking your posts, who are always engaging with you, even if they might not be fans, they might be admirers, they might be haters, they might be just spectators. But at the same time, create a post and say, which one of my songs do you like the most? And you put, and then and then the answers, you put a couple of your songs in there and see what people like. You have to engage with people. You have to be like, you got to ask people questions sometimes, and that's not even music related, because everything shouldn't be music related. Some things should be just like social issues or whatever kind of issues. You need to show people that you are a real person, that you have real struggles, that you have real thoughts, and that you're not just here to promote music and seem like you spamming them all the time. So you want to always keep your fans engaged, man, and that's what it is, man. So I'm gonna return back with another video on a couple of key specific things that you can do to enhance your Twitter presence. But for this one, listen to this one, go back over it again, research other videos, man, and try to figure out a way where you can figure out the platform. Another key thing I want to leave y'all with is this: when it comes to following people on Twitter, man, or getting active followers on Twitter, because you don't want to just follow anybody. Everybody is not an active user of Twitter. They might have an active account, but they may not be active users. So if you get all these inactive users on your, that you following or that's following you, it makes no sense anyways. So how you weed that out is when, I'm gonna give you an example. Soulja Boy, he posts a lot on Twitter, you know what I'm saying? So, and he get a lot of engagements, right? So when Soulja Boy posts a lot, you don't necessarily have to be sitting there waiting on Soulja Boy to post. What you can do is go to his page, see when he posted last, find out when, you know, the most recent time that he posted. Maybe probably been, it might say he posted 30 minutes ago or he posted an hour ago. What you want to do is you want to go to that post, go to the people who liked it that post, and follow them people who liked it that post. Why? Because those people are active users of Twitter. Those people was just recently on Twitter. So in most cases, them people still got their phone in their hand, and they gonna catch your notification when they come through and say so and so followed you. And they gonna come to your page and be like, who the fuck this dude? You know what I mean? They gonna come to your page and look at who you are, and they be like, oh, dude, pretty hot, let me follow him. Or she pretty hot, let me follow her. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it happens, man. Trust me, I do it every day. I do it every day. I just did it today, and I got at least 30-40 followers out of it. You know what I'm saying? The other people end up following that don't follow you back, you weed those people out. Like, you can go to a couple of different platforms, man, and you can unfollow those followers. And because the thing is with Twitter, is just like Facebook, you can't follow a whole lot of people, you can't unfollow a whole lot of people. You know what I'm saying? That's just not how they gonna let you do it. They will end up blocking your account for a little bit. So what you want to do is you want to, you know, gradually delete the people off who not following you back. Gradually delete them off. I mean, like, man, you know, probably unfollow 30-40 people who not following you back, and then the next day do the same thing until you get them all back down to the you know, to the correct amount, to where it's saying you can't unfollow nobody else no more. You want to get it down to that, man. So that's what it is, man. This your boy Trey G with Trey G Podcast. I'm gonna be giving y'all a lot more of these videos. This is my first one, but other than that, be cool, man. Let's get it.